Okay, almost done. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our movie club. Today we will discuss a movie, and I forgot its name. Como, how is
Like
it?
water for chocolate.
Like water for chocolate. Okay, and it's a Mexican and a famous movie, right, Josephina? Can you tell us why we choose this movie? Why it's important
Oh,
for Mexican culture?
bueno, in my opinion, is because it shows the culture of Mexico, and really many of these things still prevalent in Mexico. They're people who really believe in those rules, even though they belong to
Yeah.
2 centuries ago. But I can see families that still follow this. For example, my sister is 79 and she's never married. My mother is not like the woman in the movie, no, not like that. But she kind of guided my sister not to get married, and now
Nice.
she takes care of my mother, and so she never married and she never anything, and she has to leave us if she's in the house of my mother, not her house.
I see.
So she has to ask permission to go out, and things that you cannot believe. And then some other families, the idea is that the moral responsibility, who's going to take care of the parents when everybody else married.
Wow.
So that's why some families still have that problem. The woman decide, oh, I'm not going to marry because I will take care of my parents. Sometimes this can happen. So it's not a rule anymore, but still kind of in the feelings, in the hearts of people. So I feel kind of bad that my sister could never,
Yeah.
make her own life, but she's never been upset, or at least she never chose. She's always very positive, because I think when you don't go anywhere, you don't see any different. So when you travel a lot, you see a lot of things and you can compare. But when you're very limited in traveling and you live that way and you love your parents, you don't see much difference. So it's happy to get, you know,
Yeah, I see.
used to content and all this.
I'm sure we will discuss more about this tradition because it's new for me, at least. I think it's new for our participants as well. So, but in general, what do you know about Mexico, Sergey? What do you know about Mexico? What do you know in Russia? Not much, right?
But we know at Aztecs and Mexico and the football and drugs and cartels and revolution and the wall between USA and Mexico.
Exactly. Wall, yes, very hot, and some tequila, probably. I don't know, maybe Mexican.
Yeah, tequila.
Cactuses.
What?
Cactuses. I don't know.
Cacti.
Cactus plant, yeah, nopales.
Yeah.
Actually, there was some special plural for cacti, right? Cacti and
Right.
Cactus is singular
uh-huh.
and cacti is plural.
Cacti. So cacti, yeah, cacti, tequila, tacos, right? Everything is very, very spicy, right? When I go to Mexican restaurant, what I say first? No spicy, right?
Yeah, it's very, we eat a lot of chili.
What else? Sombrero, right? Sombrero, big
Big sombrero.
big sombrero, yeah. What else? Cartel, of course, and
Marijuana.
Yeah.
maybe drugs in general.
Cocaine, yeah.
Weapons that come from America.
Yeah, weapons.
Tacos.
Tacos. Another thing,
Nachos.
another thing
Nachos.
that capitals
Oh,
and
nachos are called totopos. That's the correct name. Tortilla chips, totopos.
Tortillas, yeah.
And I remember that Mexico, the capital city, is huge, right? It's kind of 10
Huge,
million
yeah.
or more.
No more. 100, no, maybe 240 million inhabitants in the whole country.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like Moscow and Russia. In Russia we have like the whole Russia and Moscow with the same population. So
Yeah, exactly.
Not.
okay, no, almost. Leila, what else? What we missed about Mexico? What do you know?
I don't think you have missed anything, my friends.
No dances? No.
That what?
Flamenco, yeah. Well, that's more Spain.
No, that's
Spain.
from Spain.
Spanish.
Yeah.
That's all,
Yeah.
right? Gerard, maybe you can add something.
Okay. I know Mexico was bigger, Part of the United States was a part of Mexico in the past.
Yeah. So United States bought some territory from Mexico, right?
Yes.
And
Texas.
I also know that during Second World War or something, U.S. was inviting Mexican people to work in U.S. There was a program like to
Yeah.
incentives yeah, to what's the word for this? To invite people to work in U.S. Now it's different.
Yeah. It's always all the time.
But
And
after the
when
second
it's
war,
convenient.
the American sent the Mexican people to Mexico.
Back, yeah. It
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
all the time, right? It's actually I don't know. It's the story of any neighborhood, right? When countries has a border, it's always complicated story, I guess.
Only
And
business. Only
unbelievable one time, the Mexicans, the immigrants, they helped to build the wall. Could you imagine? Many years ago, the same Mexican, not anymore. Now they're smart and they said no way.
Okay, teacher Liv, remember poncho, right? It's a special
Right.
like dresses, right?
I remember that I watched the film Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Antonio Banderas.
Zorro.
Yes.
Okay, I guess we covered all the stereotypes. Well, Sans, what we missed? Maybe you had something special about Mexico. Can you remember something? What are usual stereotypes you have about Mexico?
Mexico. Usually I saw the people that have cowboy hats and stuff.
Sombreros.
Yeah.
I remember that, but I'm not sure that it's from Mexico in particular. I know that it's from Latin America in general. We have a lot of TV shows like soap operas, So this always families, brothers, sisters, 100 episodes, and that kind of soap operas. It was very popular in Russia like 20 years ago or something. Sergey, what was your favorite?
True. Yeah.
Rich people cry again.
It's the name-
Yeah.
it's the name
Los
of-
ricos también lloran. Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
from Venezuela. This
I
one is
would-
from Venezuela.
From Venezuela. Okay, from Latin America. It's all close enough for me. We have an ocean between us, so it's close enough. Okay, let's start with movie. Okay.
But I just wanted to point out that not everybody wears a sombrero in Mexico.
No.
Everybody, just in the small towns and little villages, some people in Zaguaro that the sombreros from.
Well, maybe it's not a good story to share, but I always wanted one sombrero. And I have a friend who lives in Arizona, close to Mexico. And when he went to Moscow, I asked him, please bring me a sombrero, one. He said, no, I cannot buy it. I asked why? Because I will be shot on the street if I buy a sombrero. I don't know was it a joke or not, but
Which street? U.S. street or Mexican street?
U.S. street.
Okay.
Yeah, Mexican street, no way.
Yeah.
Probably a joke. I don't know.
It takes
Okay.
a large cat box for a sombrero.
Okay, Leila, if you watched the beginning of the story, can you please start? Oh, I'm sorry. Let's start with cast because names can be tricky, right? Let me copy to our chat. Cast that Sergey prepared. I lost my chat window trying to find it. Okay, this one. So we have characters here: Tita, Pedro,
Yeah, the main character.
Mama Elena, Rosaura, Dr. John Brown, and Nacha. Okay, Nacha is
Nacha, the lady who serves
Take-
and Lenani.
Yeah.
through generations.
Yep. Lela, if you watched the story at the beginning, can you start? Can you tell us?
If I'm not wrong, as I told you, I watched the trailer, the beginning of the film.
Okay, let's
I'm
ask.
trying to do my best.
Yep.
If you want, or Sergey can tell.
Yeah, we have an expert. Sergey knows the story by heart, so let's ask him.
By heart.
Sergey, can you tell us how the story was started?
The story started when we see Tita, it's the main character, the young, beautiful lady who lived in Mexican family, and she started to tell her story when her mother and her father were awaiting her, and the father.
There was a special word I remember. Usually, when a woman is pregnant, we say he's due to some date, right? Something.
Yeah, we say she's expecting or she's due.
She's due or she's expecting, right? A new baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or has something in the oven too. That is usually.
Yeah, she
Or
has
something in the
a cake in the oven, I think we say.
Or bun is the oven, probably.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sergey, for interruption. Just for language purpose, please.
He was expecting a new baby. Some man told to Elena's husband, we know that your baby, it's not your baby, it's baby from different men. And husband was died about it because he had a headache, I think. And Elena has 3 daughters. And Tita was the youngest daughter of this family. And Elena told her, you have to help me during my life, and you don't have go to the marriage, and you don't have to fall in love for somebody. But sometimes Tita met Pedro, and Pedro and Tita fall in love suddenly for us. I don't know why, but they started to build relationships, and Pedro and his father went to Elena's family for taking the hand of Tita, but Elena answered them not. But we have the different option, and you take my old daughter. Pedro and father have a discussion about it, and Pedro told to his father, "Okay, I agree because I will closer for Tita during my marriage in Rosaria."
Okay, let's stop there for a bit. So they discussed the opportunity, right, for him to be close to his object of love. It sounds very strange, I would say, but okay. Gerard, have you watched the movie?
Yes.
Could you please describe for us not the story but some characters? What can we say about Tita? What we can say about her mother? How can we describe
Her mother, to me, looked not from Spanish origins or from Mexican native origins. She looked like from Irish or British because she had that's usual in people from Britain, from the islands.
Mm-hmm.
It was I don't know because there was also people from American origin that spoke English, like the doctor, John Brown, and we heard that even Tita know how to speak in English, knew that. So Tita, okay, we know one thing about Tita. It looks like her father is not the husband of Elena. It looks like
No, it's not. So
it's
it's another guy that they call it in the movie Mulatto because it was
half
black,
white, half black.
Yeah, black, and also, but remember the Spaniards came to Mexico and mixed, and so there are a lot of blonde people in certain parts of Mexico, like Jalisco in Michoacan with green eyes, and they're 100% Mexican now. So through many generations. So we not only we are brown people, we are different. So
So you are saying that Elena, her Tita's mother was Mexican, right?
well, Mexican but black. There are not many blacks in Mexico. That's kind of something very weird.
Yeah.
Only in Veracruz, but these guys supposed to, because they want to do the exaggeration. This is a novella written before the movie that they work a lot with the hyperbole, which in literature means the exaggerations of the things in certain way, you know.
Yeah. So
But
they made it like deliberately so white and so like I don't know, mixed bloods just to show us the difference, right? So that's the
I
reason.
guess because in Mexico it's always regarded as low, you know. That's the problem. I want to tell you something, and I don't want to really say, but it's the truth. The Mexican people are the most racist people that you can imagine among themselves, because the difference between the indigenous and the supposed to be, you know, normal Mexicans, and that's the problem. They're very prejudiced in my own country. I had to recognize that. I'm sorry, but
I understand. What about Pedro, Gerard? Can we say something special about him?
Well, Pedro was in love with Tita, but I think he did a bad decision. He married Rosaura, Tita's sister, to be close to Tita. That was a bad idea. After, in the middle of the movie, Rosaura said to him, "I would have preferred that you stole me." You know, in Spanish, you stole me. So you took me without any
could you
permission and
stop
go
that?
away. I think that would have been better. It was a bad decision from Pedro.
Well, it was for my culture, it's really strange decision, you know. So you just ruined someone's life. For instance, Rosaura, right? She can have a better party or something, and yeah, what's the reason to make a marriage
Destroy
without
both
love?
lives. He destroyed
Both lives, yeah.
the two lives of the sisters because he was in love with Rosaura and he was close to Tita, but it was a love that couldn't go well.
Yeah.
So
Leila,
bad decision.
Leila, do you understand what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Was it okay to be close to a woman that you like to marry her sister?
No, I don't think so. Because it's such a stupid situation, you know. You sleep with somebody, and the other morning you see the woman you love, you know. It's stupid.
Was it only the only decision for him to be close, right? To be allowed to visit their house or something? Josefina, why?
But it's just the idea of the self-thinking, and also because in those days the families are so close-minded, because I don't think it was intentionally done like that. He just thinking of his own needs and his own self, and doesn't matter. So try to adapt the situation, but like Tita says towards the end of the movie, something to him. I would have preferred you rob me or rape me rather than this situation, because he claimed to her, you see, I have done a lot of things for you and you don't appreciate you married Dr. Brown. And she says, what do you mean? I mean, I would have preferred you rob me rather than live here in this situation. So it's mostly like that. And you see also in those days, it's very important to petition for the hand in a very formal way, and all this. This still exists. And when the father died because of somebody at work says, this is not your own daughter, it's mostly shows there the pride. The
Yeah,
men
the
have
pride,
the
the
pride,
honor.
so they can never. This is so horrible to say to a man, because they're machistical. They're very macho, you know. They cannot stand that, and still that machismo exists, unfortunately, a lot.
Yeah. So, but it's not only machismo, right? It's not only to men, I guess. It's about feeling. It's about like over, I don't know how we call it, honor, right, and pride. And we
Yeah,
still,
that's mostly that pride and honor.
yeah, and we still in the whole world we have some crimes. We call it honor crimes, right? When someone feel offended, he can, I don't know, make something terrible, right?
Kill.
kill someone. Just because kill, let's say, I don't know, terrible things. Kill own daughter, because she did something wrong, for instance, like in, I don't know, in Middle East or something. So it happens everywhere. It's not a Mexican story, I would say. It's a story. So, and how we call it? We call it to save the face, right, teacher?
To save face. To save face.
To save face, yeah, we have to do something, or something like this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about this marriage, like about royal marriages, to make families close. Not important who marry whom, but just to make it, to common, just to unite like families or something.
Yeah. Can you imagine Gone with the Wind if Scarlet had married Ashley to be close to Rhett or whatever? It's crazy, crazy. Oh my God.
Okay, Gerard, who was Dr. John Brown and why he's important?
He was a friend of the family, a doctor that visits the family when they need a doctor, and he liked Tita's, and he wanted to marry her. But I don't know, it's not clear to me whether at the end he married her or not. Because she said to him that she loved because she had a relationship with Pedro, an affair with Pedro, and she confessed to him that and for a while she thought she was pregnant, but it was a psychological pregnancy. It was not real.
I don't know, should we call it psychological or something? It happens all the time, I'm pregnant, you have to go marry me.
Again, she stayed with Pedro.
So Dr. Brown told Tita he loved her.
Yep.
But she still wanted to cling to Pedro.
Actually, as I got it, she agreed. Yeah. She agreed, but then later she said, "I still in love with that man." So I am agreed to marry you, but I don't love you.
Okay.
Really. But we go to we go forward in the story, right?
Yeah, so I'll do what Pedro did. I'll marry you, but I'm still gonna love him. Okay.
Yeah, but it was after Elena's death, right? Because before that, Tita was not free, right? She was actually a slave in her own house, I would say. Sergey, could you please continue with the story? So we describe it personals, we reveal some future scenes, but in general we stopped at the marriage between Rosaura, right, and Pedro.
Rosaura and Pedro. And after marriage, Tita had a problem because Elena treated her, and Tita worked as a waiters and a cooker for this family. And she was a very beautiful cooker, and she made interesting type of food, and with something secret elements. And when we watched the moment of wedding, Tita cried in the cake, and during the wedding a lot of people has a problem with stomach. And Elena told to Tita, and you are wrong that you added something to the cake. And
actually poisoned, right? Everyone.
Yeah.
So everyone
Yeah, what type of thing did you add to the cake? Complaining.
Yeah. So so Tita made the whole like job in the house, or house, how we call it, house chores, right? Usually house chores.
Yep.
So if I say that she was like a Mexican Cinderella, was it will it be understandable or not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, before Cinderella became famous, yeah.
Long time before, I would say. So she was.
For early life, yeah, early life.
In Mexican families, all the women have the obligation to know how to cook and serve the man. That's the main idea. I married an American guy, and he came to Mexico and says, don't you have legs and hands to, because everybody will be in the table. The man says, please give me a fork, please give me salt. And my husband just says, do you have hands and legs?
I can see an American coming to Mexico saying, well, we have Mexicans to do our low-level work. Who do you use? You know? Oh, we use Argentina people. Yeah. I don't know.
Own daughters.
Yeah, our own daughters, yeah.
So answering the question, who poisoned the cake? It was tears of Tita, right?
The tears.
Tears, yes.
Why would tears be poison? Is this?
It's all about love, teacher. It's all about love.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, and
bitter sorrow. Okay.
they can addictive, but the main idea of the author there is to show how this meal produces an effect that everybody remembers their first love, the loved one. And it's when the Elena's secret is discovered, because, and then he goes to the little coffer where he has a picture of the man that she really loved. She didn't love the man she married, because the same happened to her in her life, that she has to marry the wrong person. So it's really happens a lot of times that you just, and they use the food as an excuse to show this part of the culture, I guess.
I see. Vasans, can you talk? Is it electricity back? Okay, we stopped on the moment. We are discussing the moment about this poison, the cake, and Mexican Cinderella, as I call her, Tita, yeah, and how he do all the chores. So tell us why her mother's. What do you think? Why her mother treat her in this way?
I think she is frustrated by the previous love, that she couldn't achieve what she wanted to live. So she was not happy with her own life, and she witnessed a rebirth of herself again. So she didn't like every moment she encounters with her daughter. It reminds her own tragedy. So she hates that moment. So I think that's why she behaved so rudely towards her daughter.
Yeah. It was like, I don't know. I can't find the word for this. It was like a Nazi.
Like a scar. Yeah, it reminds you.
Yeah. So it was. Mother was so tough, so hard to Tita that it's almost impossible to believe, right? And Vasans, do you remember the story with a small newborn baby?
The small newborn baby of which one? The Tina or
sister, I guess.
Okay, the sister's first child, right?
Yeah.
Yes, she. That child used to be raised in kitchen most of the time. So the child got used to the aroma of the kitchen. So whenever she was handed over to her mother, she started to cry. She didn't like the atmosphere. So Tita has to bring some dishes to the living room, to the bedroom, so that the aroma can fill the room, and she would feel that she is still she is still in the kitchen and with her aunt. So yeah, it was a good trick.
Gerard, please.
So Tita was able to breastfeed her nephew because it's like something like psychological, In reality, it was with hormones. So it, in somehow, she was able to breastfeed her nephew, and he had a very fragile health.
Mm-hmm.
And the mother, Elena, made that Pedro and Rosaura went to live another place, and the child died because Tita wasn't taking care of him.
Gerard, do you remember this scene when they got known that the child died? Do you remember? It was a tragic scene actually. I remember that. So they were on the kitchen cooking something, and how we call it, as kind of a worker went there and said, you know, it's a tragedy happened, so child happened, and what happened after? Sergey, do you remember?
Yes, it's a difficult moment for Tita, and Tita wanted to cry, but Elena, don't cry, I thought, don't cry. And Elena builds a difficult space around the Tita, and the Tita blew up, and Tita told, no, stop, Elena, I wanted to go from you.
Yeah, but you know, it wasn't just don't cry. You know, it was. I can't imagine. So they were cooking something. Usually, can you imagine? They were cooking something. Then they know that nephew was dead. And what happens? Elena said, "Finish your job, and then you can cry." You know, so finish cooking and then cry because now we have to work. You know, so.
Man.
It's just to show her authority, because you have to exercise your power and authority according to the culture, the Mexican families, because otherwise you lose the control of everything. So it's so important. In particular, she's a widow and she has to make sure everything works according to her rules. It will be a disaster. In a way that I want to show this part, because it's true.
You know what you're saying? It's not only Mexican, I would say. I have seen this before. So the idea that you have a power only if you can make someone suffer, it's very popular. So many people use their power to show, you know, the moment I am the boss, you will do whatever I say, or something like this. So it's a popular idea.
But they don't see, they don't pretend that this. I want to make your life miserable. It's not a predator idea. It's just they really think of themselves. They're not. They're never calculated that. They're just thinking, and it's a norm to follow. Also, it is true. It's a norm. It's not the idea that they're so Machiavellic and think that, oh, I'm going to make suffer this. No, it happens through the life, and then at the time of death is when they realize what they did wrong. But it's not an idea that they calculated before. It's not.
So it was not exactly this, but I remember one idiom. So the last straw that broke camel's back, something like this, right? Actually, am I right?
The straw that broke, yeah.
The straw that broke camel's leg. So how we call when someone lost control? Blow
up.
Her mind, right, or something.
Just blow up, blow their lid.
Okay. So Tita has blown up, right? Is it correct?
Blown up is okay. She blew up. Yeah.
She blew up. She blew up, right? Sergey, would you describe more? So what she did after she blew up?
After the moment, Tita go to the third floor, where the pigeons lived, and she undressed, and she
lay down,
lay down and started to cry, and she didn't want to return to the real life, and obviously she had the problem with his mind and with his heart.
Yeah, some mental issues, right?
Yeah, and Elena told her, okay, I don't want to see the blow up women and mad men in my house. Please go to the mad house. And she has sent her to the mad house for Dr. Jones.
Yeah,
Dr. Brown.
Yeah.
Dr. Brown.
Yeah, so we can see the love, right, in this family. Okay. Well, sounds. Can you continue?
Yeah, where we stopped.
We stopped that mother sent Tita to the doctor.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And she didn't speak for a long time during her recovering period until she saw the maid. Is that a maid?
Yeah, the maid
Maid. Yeah,
got that
the maid girl. Yeah, she visited
gift.
her. Yeah, the doctor invited her, and once she saw her, she changed her mind and she started to speak. So she completely recovered, and they had some fun talk, and after that, the doctor proposed her that he wanted to marry her, and she accepted that, but with a hesitation.
Yeah.
She still loved him.
I guess we forgot a few episodes. There was a brave soldier somewhere. Jar, do you remember?
Yeah,
On a
there was
fort.
another sister, Gertrudis. You know?
Can you tell us the story?
Yeah, but another thing, important thing of the movie, that Tita expresses her feelings through cooking.
Yeah.
So sometimes we can see she makes some special dishes that like are magical, you know. They bring feelings, you know. So once those feelings were like something aphrodisiac, and Gertrudis fell in love with a revolutionary and flew. And later, her mother knew that she worked in a brothel. But after that, she married some revolutionary, and she was even a general, an important general of the revolution. Because at the beginning of the 20th century, there was this Mexican Revolution.
Yeah, but it was because the effect of the food, because that food was prepared because Pedro gave Tita the flowers, the roses, and the mother says, throw, put in the trash. And she created a new dish because Nacha, her, the one that said, talked to her, you know, in the dreams. And also that shows, what I want to, okay. Yeah, so that's why they have this effect, the food that she prepared. And then but also in Mexico, the idea is to have a good stew, like when she's recovered, when she was crazy with Dr. Brown, the young lady brought the food and she recovered. Because in Mexico, they always think that there's a magic thing with the stews or the stocks. If you eat that with meat, you will cure from any disease. So when COVID started at the very beginning, one doctor said publicly, if you take a lot of caldo de pollo and vegetables and all this, you will be better. So it was like, make everybody laugh because again, the same idea they use for everything. And this will cure you, things like that.
Yeah, I see. Oh,
So where
okay.
does chocolate figure into this? I haven't heard anyone mention chocolate yet.
Oh, because like water for chocolate, this idea that when somebody's so upset or mad, you become so mad as the water is boiling, as the chocolate is boiling in the water. It's when you get so upset. That's an expression in Mexico. Me estoy poniendo como agua para chocolate, así es que better pay attention to me, obey me. Based on the mother's personality, very strong.
Never heard of that one before. Okay.
Yeah.
Chocolate boiled in the water. Yeah, it's new for me as well.
What's characteristic about chocolate boiling in water? Does it melt and become messy, or does it, what do they use that description?
So it's like the body is as hot when you're very, very upset. You become so hot like the water for chocolate. But
okay, so like the inside
they prepare the chocolate and they put water, then do like that, and they add the water, the milk, and becomes more thick. But it's like that. That's the idea that shows again. And Alfonso Arau used a lot of metaphors based on what we know about the cultures. But eso es como agua para chocolate, es expresión de I'm very upset, I'm very mad, to be careful with me.
Okay, so the title of the movie is really like anger or upset.
It's like, yeah, showing the control of Elena over the whole family. That's the thing.
Okay. The mom is
Everybody was afraid of the mother and respect the mother, but not really because they love her. They had to obey because there's no other alternative, right? She's like a sergeant. She doesn't show like a lovable mother, but probably she wanted to love their children, but it's just her mission to put everything in order. They know they will be an oligarchy, and then she's not going to be able to resolve and put everything in order.
Actually, I think it's a bigger problem when people treat bad each other in family. It's harder than from a stranger. You cannot just say goodbye and walk away, right? You have to find some compromises. Or you have to live together. It's always hard job.
Okay, yeah, but there's another thing. They live for whatever other people are going to think. The Mexicans still now live for what other people, the outsiders, are going to think. So it's they move by that on their actions. It's like that. Okay, the neighbors are going to think that we are immoral people. Oh, don't do that, this and that. And this is ridiculous because they don't support you, they don't do anything for you, but this continues in my country. That they do things for what the others are going to say. For example, if they had to give donations, sometimes they give big money just because the other people are looking. If the money given is secret, I bet you they don't give as much. It's all looks, all appearances, all these things. They like to play that game a lot.
Yes, Teacher Liv wrote it's keeping up with Jones, right? It's famous.
But except me, I don't do that. I became more Americanized.
Teacher Liv, you tried to say something?
I was just saying, so the title is really referring to the mother's control of the family and kind of making everyone miserable.
Yeah.
And that she's always mad, yeah.
Okay.
Actually, if you can rephrase this explanation about chocolate, I would like to hear, because it's still not clear for me why it's chocolate.
It's kind of, we have an expression in English to stir the pot.
Yeah.
If you don't stir, everything's calm, quiet, and peaceful. If you come there and you stir the pot, you make everything turbulent, turmoil. So the mother is kind of like stirring the pot in the family, making everybody miserable, instead of letting everybody be calm and quiet and enjoy life. So she's stirring the pot or making trouble, Yeah.
But she's in charge of everything in this big family, I guess. Yeah. Sergey,
but
tell us.
She's always advised by the man. That's what she has the priest in the family to go and give advices. Those women have a lot of insecurities, but they just have money. And they have a lot of people work for them and even they give them advices. Mm-hmm. So this is another thing I want you to know, because the women in those times, they didn't get much education. They're raised to be mothers and have children. They have children at the age of 15 years old or 14 in those days. Not anymore, but yeah, that's the idea. So they don't know much about things in life. Yep. And then the idea of the Dr. Brown is also families who have a lot of money and all this always want to show that they have friends that are from other countries. It's a big deal in those days to, an American come here, because it's seen idols as something different in those centuries.
Yeah, I see. I remember there was some discussion on some party or something when they discussed that how women doing good without any man in the family or something like this. So Elena, in my opinion, in my impression, was very proud about how she is doing keeping the family or something like this. So she was actually I don't know, a general in this family.
Mhm.
Sergey, what happened to her, to Elena?
Elena was killed by revolutionaries of Mexico, and she was raped, I think, and she was raped with different girls inside the rancho. And when Tita and Dr. Brown returned to the rancho, they saw 2 or 3 bodies, dead bodies, and after that, Elena started to go with the dreams of Tita, and
Like a ghost,
she,
right?
yeah, she was continuing to teach her.
Control her life, right? But
Yeah.
being a ghost.
Oh, wow.
But it's understandable, So a little lady, broken by authoritative mother, so it's obviously that she will remember and see you again, so something like this.
Mm.
But was it was it revolutionaries or some, I don't know, some gangsters, or who was it? It's not
I
clear.
think it was. I think it were revolutions because if I remember correctly, during the 20th year of 20th century in Mexico, the revolution was.
Yeah, 19
It is
start the
correct.
revolution in Mexico, right? That's the idea. And then she didn't go with the guy. So the guy has seen her. He liked her, and when she had this passion for the food she ate, she became horny, and then she took the clothes off, and then the guy raped her, really raped her. But then they liked each other later and came back as be married and all these things.
Okay, I don't know where we stopped to continue. Sergey,
We're talking about Tita dreaming about her mother controlling her,
yeah.
and she was
Well-
proud of not having men in her life. She was doing it by herself, no men.
Yeah, it was Elena who was problem. It's my impression. So let's go to the happy end, if there is happy end.
Yeah, it was a happy end.
Vasants, can you?
Yes, in the end, they had a marriage function of Pedro's daughter. Even after so many years, Tita didn't get married to anyone, and Pedro was waiting for her, and the doctor married someone else, I think. And even in the end of that function, I think she cooked the meal. I hope that she cooked the meal, and everybody got erotic, and they ran away with their partner to make love. And in the end, they were together because Pedro's wife was died. So now they had no one else in between them, so they can to be together. They shared the bread, but unfortunately, Pedro died. Uh, then Tita ate phosphorus. I think phosphorus, is that a phosphorus? Yeah, and she ate that and set fire among the how to say that, set fire themselves, and they died.
Yeah, so answering
But it's
teacher Lee's question, so they got married, but they were killed on this marriage or something. I guess it was he was poisoned. Let's Gerard, was Pedro
No, but-
killed? No.
Do you remember that when Tita was with Dr. Brown living in this place, he says that it is enough one match to make people like show all their emotions and all this, but everybody has a match inside them. Because it's enough one word, one caress, one something to make these things emotions and then go out. That's why when they first they go make love, supposed to, it was so powerful, so the best that they waited for years and years, then they make them explode and die, like at the idea of Romeo and Juliet type of influence, I guess.
Yeah.
And then also the Mexicans still now, some people believe that the dead people come and talk to them, and that's why the scenes with the mother of Tita, and until Tita says, "I hate you," then the woman never comes back, because the idea is that you're still communicating with the dead people because there's love and connection. Once there's nothing, then they're gone forever. So a lot of people, because of the Catholic, I don't know what ideas, they believe a lot in talking to the dead people. So
I see.
still now, a lot of people believe that.
So
and then-
until the moment you have feeling with dead people, you can communicate, right? And when
according to-
feeling gone, people gone too, right?
But some people, people who doesn't have much education, they have these beliefs. They really believe that.
Yeah.
Still now.
Yeah, just but I don't understand about Pedro's life. Was he killed or poisoned, or what happened to him? Why Pedro died?
Because Pedro died, because the emotion of the moment, the passion.
So just his heart stopped because he was so happy.
Yeah, like that, because they want to show how much love was in that, and how intense was their love, how important, how incomparable. Nobody can have, because in my country people think everything's unique. They're unique, and many things, and it's the machismo too. Also, smart woman, right? It's true. It's a lot of this thing behind that.
So I guess my version was better. I was told that I saw that he was poisoned by doctor or someone who was not happy about this marriage.
No, it was the opposite. That's why the scene is so romantic, prepared with candles everywhere. A lot of Mexicans love that scene because even this nudity, complete nudity, is elegant. It's so with good taste, and it's romantic and all this this romantic. So we're
Okay, so
silly
nothing.
romantic.
Yeah, I understand. Nothing will divorce them, right? They are together for eternity, for forever, right? Because of them.
Yeah, like Romeo and Juliet, forever.
Leila, do you like this happy end?
You know what? I think, or I thought I was a romantic person. Josephine is more romantic than me. Oh, no way.
Yeah, I think that we have a saying: better to have something and lose than never have it, or something like this. So
Yeah.
I prefer to live with my happiness, not to die before.
Yeah, I agree.
Jart, what we missed? You're muted, Jart. We can hear you. Tell us if you missed something important.
I think we talk about everything now.
Okay. Okay. So any question, guys? We have all kind of experts.
But you remember also about missing when Rosaura was telling the nephew, whatever, of Dr. Brown, he wanted to marry that girl when grows up, and the mother says, "You will never marry her because she has to take care of me." You see that the same idea, it goes back to the next generation and continues this generation of the same ideas. And that happened a lot in my country for many, many years like that. This type of idea that you have to do these things in those days.
Jart, please.
Who takes care of the women that take care of their mother when they are old?
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah, they don't
And
have a
that's what
daughter to take care
I
of
worry
them.
because that's exactly what I worry because, for example, my mother wanted to keep my sister, with her as much. And then my sister had a lot of cancer problems. She had 2 cancers. Then she's in remission that lasted 20 years and the other 19 years something. And then it's like my mother was taking care of Elisa. And then my mother's 96 years old. And I'm concerned now, how about Elisa
That's cool.
disappears from this world. This is really something. but nowadays really thinking of my sisters
Yeah,
is
let's hope
like,
for the best. Yeah. Sergey, please, you raise your hand. I just want teacher Lee just noticed. Yeah, Sergey.
Yes, and I think that in different country have the similar tradition about the treatment their oldest parents and the oldest son. For example, in Russia in 7th century and 19th century, we have the tradition that the eldest son had to go to the army for 25 years. It's obviously, and the different sons had to stay with the parents for working.
So Sergey is talking that in our families we have only own obligations. You know, the oldest son is for army for 25 years or something, and the youngest one he is going to live with parents. But in Russia there is a kind of a difference. He can marry, he can make own family. He is free, but he live in the same house with his parents. So like parents is his like not a problem. His what we call it. In charge of treating them. Teacher Lee?
I think some of this might depend on culture. I'm not sure. In America, we have a social security system,
right?
So that when people get old, the government gives them money and kind of takes care of them in that way. So in America, we don't grow up with the idea that a daughter or a son has to take care of the parents. To me, that kind of ruins their life because now they're tied, you know. So in America, when we have kids, they're on their own. They may go away, get married, go away, move to another state. You may never see them again, but a phone call once every year, you know, if you're lucky. But basically, when you're a parent and you get old, you're on your own because we depend on Social Security to pay us enough money to, you know, hire a maid, or we go into old people's homes. We have like senior living where you pay your Social Security to the business, and then they take care of you, kind of like a motel. And there's a nurse that checks on you and they feed you, and so we have the government and private senior living to take care of old people.
It's not only about culture; it's about economics as well. You know, if
that's the idea.
If country rich enough, if old people can, you know, save some money for themselves, no problem. You know, it's not the same in Russia, I guess. In Russia, our old people get some money from government, from their pension plan and something, but still, it's supposed to children help them because it's not enough. So we have kind of this connection or something, and it's impossible to think about, you know, this senior living or how you call it in Russia. You know, if you do that, people around will be just think of you that you're mad or something. How can you send your parents to this place? You know, so it's something. I know it's probably changing a bit, but it's still what's the word for this? Unexpected.
We don't have a good system like in America. In America, that's why the Americans are a little more practical about these things. But everything has to do with economics, like you said. So, and also about what people are going to think. And in Mexico, nobody will trust somebody else will take care of your family because they are not very good, and they really, if you have money, then you can have the best services, but it will cost you. But if you don't have money, you don't have anything. Nobody's going to help you.
Leila, how it's in your place? So is having children important for, you know, for someone? Yeah,
it depends on us, you know. For example, nobody forces you to do something, but it is your conscience, it is your, you know, feelings. For example, I just can't leave my mom and just go to Rome and live there. I don't want to do that because she needs me.
Yeah, it's true. That's part of moral thing too.
Yeah.
And also, you know, there is the economic situation, which, you know, just helps us a bit because due to my father's salary, my mom takes his salary still. So she sometimes spends some for her, or she spends some money on me, she's relaxed when economic situation is concerned.
Good.
But I don't want to leave her like that, she depends on me a lot. And I am young, I have some time to go to Rome, but I will just come back again to my country, Ivan.
It's good. I guess. Usually, something.
In the US, everyone thinks Americans are rich, but this is a misconception. Americans have a lot of things, but we're deep in debt. We
Yeah.
borrow money to have all these things. So when you retire, you're usually in big trouble because now you have no job income. Social Security is a little bit, but it's not enough to live like you were before you retired. So in America, we say you're supposed to use three things to prepare for your old age. You save money during your life. If you stay at one job, you'll have a pension, you'll have a retirement plan, retirement that will pay you money. And then when you're 65, you can retire and the government will pay you money. So if your government's paying you money and your company's pension is paying you money for retiring from the company, and you've saved some money, with those three, you should have plenty of money to be comfortable in your old age. The problem is no one saves in America because we're all deep in debt. Companies these days, they fire you because of a word. So you don't have a pension in a company anymore. So really all you've got is Social Security, and that's not enough money to live on like you used to live. So Americans, when we retire, most Americans don't have enough money to live like they want to when they retire. So it's not a perfect system.
Yeah, but
Okay.
also I want to say this, that the people who doesn't have Social Security because you have a kind of decent job and good income, you have to pay a lot of money for Medicare. Like I was surprised that I had to pay all of this every month, like $460 something every month, and I didn't expect this big amount, and I was like kind of, and yeah, sometimes you have to even contribute with your own money if you are not that poor. So that's not perfect. There's no perfect system in America.
Medicare in America is pretty cheap. We have to pay like $100 a month.
No, I
but
paid
it pays for
400
all our
something.
medical. Yeah.
No, but I paid 460 something, and I'm retired for being a teacher at the college level, and it's a lot of money. Each month I pay like almost $475 I paid now actually every month.
Okay, let's go
I'm
back
60.
to
I'm
the movie.
65.
Vasant, tell us.
That's
So,
right.
what about India? Do you have children, or do you rely on your government, on your pension? What do you choose?
Yeah, it's
America
an
pays you
unwritten
for
rule
more.
that unwritten rule that every child has to take care of their parents until they die. So if you don't comply with this, then the people will talk bad things about you, that like you are not honest, or you are not a good child, something like that. So it's all about the peer pressure of the society. So that's how the system is working. That's how they take care of their parents. Most of the time, the government pays pension, but not anymore. Not in this economic situation.
No, well,
So,
okay. Let's discuss pension health care system as a time, because time fly, and let's make some slides. Maybe we have some art here as always. So what is on the top? I cannot recognize. Is it a bomb or it's onion?
Those are Hershey's Kisses.
Yeah, and Hershey Kisses, yeah.
Very nice.
Chocolate
And the
candy.
ones on the bottom aren't they like the French cookies? How to call those?
We call them Oreos in America.
Oreo.
Oh, I thought it was the pastries from France. Oh no, you're right. Yeah, those are the Oreo cookies. Yeah.
Okay, let's go there. What we can see. Gerard, could you please start? And you're muted, Gerard. We don't hear you.
Please.
Sorry. Elena's husband
Yep.
is about to have a heart attack because someone told him that Tita was the daughter of, the mulatto, the guy, the lover, half white and half
That's
black.
Gertrudis.
Okay, Gertrudis, okay. I thought it was Tita. Okay.
No.
Okay. So the house looks like it's a high society house, right?
Yeah, they got some money.
Well, so some armchairs, pretty nice with a leather, I guess, and I don't know, some decorations. Yeah, mirrors. What is this? Is it
Chandelier.
table? How we call this? It's an island, right? In the kitchen for something.
Yes, if it's in the kitchen in the island, yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Okay, let's go. Leila, please describe to us the picture.
I can see Tita's mother, that dominant Elena, sitting at the table, and I can see, to tell you the truth, good furniture. I like the vase, I like the chair style, and I can see some wallpaper. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You're right, Yvonne. She doesn't look Mexican at all. She looks more like an American Victorian age.
Yeah, British, for sure.
Yeah. Her
Weird.
hairstyle is different, right?
Yeah. And
Whenever I see this white woman with thick like lips, I think about Victorian.
yeah,
British people.
her high neck and her shoulders looks kind of Victorian. Yeah. Now the girl that's pouring the water or whatever, she looks Mexican.
No doubt.
Right. So
Even
vases.
who is serving them? One of her daughters?
Yeah, I guess so. Josephine, is it her daughter?
No, the one serving is not the daughter. That's the lady who works for them for all life.
Okay,
Nacha?
La empleada doméstica, the domestic employee. That becomes kind of a part of the family, like in Roma, you remember?
Yeah. Remember. Two girls, yeah. Okay. And
that's a big bowl.
Yeah. Sergey, please. What we can see?
There's a kitchen where Tita is cooking. He's making the sauce, I think, and we can see some big plates with something, I don't know, maybe onions, and we can see her nanny, and we don't see the artificial light. We can see only candles light, and Tita uses, I don't know what it is, a special making.
Big spoon, I would say.
That's the butter for the cake for the wedding.
Yeah. So, Sergey, when we are going to bake a cake, right? To bake a cake, what we make first? From what we make a cake?
We have to prepare some foods and eggs and.
Yeah, we take water, eggs, flour, and put it together. And how we call it?
And mix it up.
Yeah, and mix it and dough, right? It's a dough. Dough. Yeah. Okay. Usually, is it how we pronounce it? Dough or dough?
Well, what she's got here, when it's liquid, we call it batter.
Yeah, batter is better.
And when you pour the batter out, as a kid, kids always like to lick the bowl. When you empty the bowl, they'll lick that batter, and it tastes pretty good. The dough is like when you make bread, and you have that white stuff you squeeze. It's like kind of like rubber almost. That's dough. Batter is liquid.
Lee,
Okay.
what is the action? Do we say knead dough?
Uh-huh. Yep,
Yeah.
we knead dough and we mix the batter.
Thank
Mix the
you.
butter. Okay. Can we say stir or not stir? It's not stir, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to show that these are clay pottery. That's used a lot because they're made in Mexico, and then they use a lot of clay pottery.
Yeah,
To
pottery
cook.
was big in Mexico, yeah.
I see. I see. So
Josephina, I have a questions about the pen, and I notice that some portraits around this circle inside the pen. What is it? It looks like a koi icon.
Braseros, they're the charcoal where they cook. It's called braseros, but it's not. They're not used anymore so long time. Is that what you're talking about? The black things like rocks to cook.
I think it's talking about pictures. It looks like there's artwork, like little pictures inside the bowl.
Yeah.
it's like icons. It looks like
Yeah.
Okay.
it's some saints, I guess, or something. So some decoration, I would say. Right. So, Sergey, what was the role of how we call it, nanny? Let me find Nacha. So,
Nacha.
what's Nacha?
Macho.
The
Oh,
lady.
Nacha. Oh, the
Nacha.
name of the woman, Nacha. Yeah.
Yeah. Was the Nacha important for the story, Sergey?
Yes, because Nacha treated and helped Tita to when he were growing up, and she explained some actions from of Pedro and different people, and she's an angel helps angel.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Some how we call it.
Nacha used to work for the mother when the mother was a little girl, Elena, and then it's serving this generation. Sometimes women are working a house through generations.
Yeah.
And then because they already know they how handle everything in the house, and obviously become like the second mothers of the children.
Yeah. And teacherly, because Tita crying here, everyone will get poisoned
That's the cake batter. Okay.
by this cake because it was so, like, I don't know, sad, so sour.
As you said, it seemed like her food and her emotions are somehow magically linked.
Yes,
Yeah.
connected. Yeah. Josephina, what is on the picture? Can you
Oh,
describe it?
here's when they're dancing at the wedding of the daughter, I guess, and when they're telling each when they just married as the Rosaura, and then Pedro is trying to tell on the ear so that it's still close to her or close to her, and that would never leave them alone. And that's when the mother over here and says, "What you were talking to Pedro?" And then it's when the mother got the idea to send the daughter to Texas. That way they cannot get together anymore because the mother has suspicion that they're seeing each other in secret.
Yeah. She has a kind of a pearl necklace.
They look small, but yeah, I mean, it looks like a pearl necklace, but pearls are usually larger than that. So I'm not sure what this is.
Okay, it's Mexican pearls then.
What do you say?
I'm joking about necklace. Necklace looks like made of pearls. You know, this from the sea.
They're real pearls because in Mexico the idea is that you dress very nice and you have pearls. Pearls is always very important, but real pearls, in this family they're not fake, they're real pearls.
So, Josephina, her family is kind of a high society, right? They are from the top, right? The family. They have a rancho, they have well educated.
Yeah. They're supposed to be, healthy families. And the idea of the candles and all this is because they live so far from the urban life. That's why they have to use candles. And in Mexico, the light goes away a lot of times in many areas because there's a lot of problems with the light, and you know, in the new liberalism, the light was sold to the foreigners and all this way. It's a lot of problems about, you know,
Yeah,
these things, but
I understand. What sounds? Please describe this picture.
This is Pedro and Tita's sister's wedding, and they were cutting the wedding cake, which is a 3-layered cake. And you can see a lot of fruits and wine on the table and some plates. The musicians
Yeah,
perform.
what musicians play? What instruments?
Maybe I can see a cello and guitar, maybe a Spanish guitar. And is that an organ?
It's, I guess it's how we call this harmonica on the right, teacher Lee. Is a
Harmonic.
Well,
yeah.
that's an accordion.
accordion. Yeah. Is it a traditional one for Mexico, Josefina? Accordion.
Yes, all the bands have accordions.
Nice. I like the sound of accordion. We have a lot of them in Russia for traditional music. More than guitars for sure. More than
Yeah,
violins.
I tend to associate accordions with gypsy music myself.
So country music.
The harmonica is the little small thing.
Yeah. Harmonica is for cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it a cake or it's a cake with some glasses? I can see some kind of pillars, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's plastic. It's fake.
Okay.
You don't eat that part. It just makes the cake look bigger.
So I guess because Mexico was a Spanish colony or something, wine is very important in Mexico, right, Josefina? So a lot of wine, a culture of wine. I can
They
see.
had, yeah, their wine is called sangria, I think.
So this is
No, the sangria is in Spain.
yeah,
Oh,
sour wine.
Mexico
In
doesn't have that?
Mexico will be las aguas frescas como horchata, todo eso. We got the influence from Spain about the sangria. That's mostly from Spain.
Ah, in America, all the Mexican restaurants have sangria.
I know, but it's everything, the so-called Mexican food, and they invent what will be the version of Mexican food in America.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it's always funny. I'm joking because I'm laughing because in Moscow, Mexican restaurant you can get something unusual from Mexico, but it's normal here. People don't care. Okay, let's go forward if you find something. Yeah, Gerard, could you please describe this one?
I don't remember the moment. It was
If I'm right, there is a lady inside this closet, or I don't know how we call it. Okay, let's choose another one if you want. Do you like this one?
yes. This is Tita's cooking. The quails with the petals,
Okay.
rose petals,
Yeah.
and she make this dish with a very love. It produced an effect like aphrodisiac effect to the people that ate this dish. So it's a good example of how the cooking of Tita is related to her feelings. It's something magical.
And
After this movie in Mexico, they start creating this type of food in restaurants. After they release that movie.
nice. And what is on the right? How we call it? Kind of a net with circles. It's actually I understand. It's a kind of a bag for birds. So
yes.
these birds were brought there by this device. But how to call this device, I have no idea.
I guess I'd call it a folding bird cage, a collapsible bird cage, maybe.
Cages. Okay, so and we can see a stove with wood.
And these birds, I think, they are named quails. Quails.
Yeah.
Codornices.
So Zarael, what else?
Just to her left elbow, that's a meat grinder.
Mm-hmm.
It has a hand crank.
Yeah, you have to
You put
rotate
meat
it.
in the top and you crank it, and it makes hamburger meat. It takes meat and grinds it up, and it comes out in little spaghetti-like
Yeah.
pieces of meat. And so now it's like ground beef.
It's a very popular device on Russian kitchen. We have a lot of them.
We don't have that in America. We buy it ground already.
Nowadays it's electrical, so you just press a button and it started. But it used to be this way, and it was when I was young. It was my job to rotate it for the whole evening.
That's cute. Okay. Some eggs back behind it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's find something. Sergey, would you describe this one?
This is Cinderella.
Yeah, the Cinderella at the moment when Tita was smiling something, and she was preparing the floor for cake, I think, or food for sauces. And she is working inside the kitchen, and we can see the stove, the old stylish stove, and old stylish vases, and shelf on the wall with cups, and on the right angle we can see the onions. We can see onions inside the and we can use this women's колготки. We can see the women's devices.
Stockings. Yeah. You know, women has braids, right? We call it braids when with the hair. So in Russia we do the same with garlic. You know, garlic has some what we call it, some fruit, right?
Stem or vine.
Yes, stem. So we just intertwine the stem and have this garlic, I don't know, sausage, so to store it.
Yeah, you'll see that in vampire movies sometimes. They'll hang garlic above the door, windows.
Stockings, yeah.
So she's actually, what she's doing, she's crushing the grain.
Yes,
right?
it's a milling system. She's milling something, and she is make something big to
small parts.
Smaller fraction.
What's the word for this? Milling, grinding, right? What else? Crushing.
It's a molar. Molar made out of stone to make tortillas.
Okay. I would say she's crushing or grinding grain, but milling is the correct term too.
To make a flour for tortillas, right?
Yeah. We buy it in a bag. We don't do this kind of work.
Sergey, what is tortilla? How would you describe this?
Tortilla, it's a piece of cake, and the cook puts inside on this pancake something, and after that rotate or put like a book.
Yeah, it's I guess it's a roll, right? So you roll inside the tortilla some, I don't know, fried meat or something else, and you get it. No. So teach us, Josephina, how to eat tortillas.
Tortillas made out of the corn dough, and then you either do this way or you have a machine where they press it very hard and it's super thin. And then you put it in the comal to iron.
Pan, how we call it? Pan, probably. No?
Pan, yeah. And then you have to flip it over and you use for tacos and everything. But it's not bread. It's like that.
Yeah, I understand. Okay,
in Mexican restaurants, we have two kinds of tortillas. One's made from flour and one's made from cornmeal.
Yeah, Mexico's the same thing. Both. We have both. Yeah.
And we use tortillas. We can make burritos. We can make enchiladas. We can make
Tacos.
tacos if you kind of deep fry it where it's stiff, like tortilla chips.
Mhm.
All kinds of things. Seems like Mexico uses that for everything.
Because it's convenient to hold it, right?
Yeah.
In the previous pictures, I wanted to tell you that the writer used the voluptuosity of the breast of the girl that are exposed, and Pedro sees them, so it's like a show the voluptuous and the sexuality and all this. I
Yeah.
just wanted to say all about that.
Yeah, I see. Okay, Josephina, what they are doing there on this picture?
This situation, is when it was very hot time, and then the mother is cutting the watermelon in such a way that shows again how powerful she is. And then that's why the little girl that serves there says, "Oh, your mother is so perfect," when it has to do with she was to mess up something. When in America they say F something, she's the best, the masters of that. And then it's when they are put these covers, and then when one time Tita goes around because she's so hot, and Pedro they meet to each other, and they give a kiss, and the mother says, "Tita,
Yeah.
where are you? Where were you?" "I was in the bathroom, mommy."
Josephina,
then
but what they're doing? They're doing some drink from watermelon, right?
Watermelon,
Yeah, and I guess there is a sugar with a bag with sugar on this cart, I guess. So they making some sweet water from watermelon, sugar, and water. It's what how I
Yeah,
get.
but it's more typical to make it from Jamaica. It's very, very, it's the typical. Jamaica is a leaf that is very reddish.
Mhm.
And also we have horchata, which is made of rice and milk. And then there's tamarindo, like the tamarindo, from the
Mhm.
trees. We make three type of waters, and this is just because the watermelon is so watery and it's juice. We can make fresh waters with any fruit.
You know, watermelon's probably 99.9% water.
Easy to make some water from it. And Vasans noticed that it's ice, not sugar, as I saw it.
Plastic
They
bags.
put a lot of ice and all this, and they don't have to add sugar because it's already plenty of sugar in the watermelon.
Yes.
This was
So-
before the days of the refrigerator and the freezer, I guess.
Vasans, do you do the same with watermelon? How do you know?
Usually we prefer biting that. No, I don't prefer the juice.
I see. I see. Wow, it's my favorite scene. Vasans, could you please describe it?
Yes, this is where the maid girl revealed that the newborn child was dead, and her mother kept the stone face, and she asked her not to cry. And we can see a lot of eatables on the table, and I hope it's wine or something.
I guess they are making sausages from the pig, I guess. So we can see the head of the pig on the wall, and they have this, how we call this, pipes, when they put the meat with grinded meat, they put inside this I don't know, shelves. So it's kind of
Skewers.
skewers.
When we have sausages connected together, we call them sausage links. They're like links of a chain.
Yep, exactly.
And it looks like that's what's hanging on that meat hook is sauce. Is that intestines, or is sausage made
Yes,
from
yes.
intestines?
Yes, it's intestines, and they put it inside grinded meat with some spicy, with something.
Okay. That's why it has an outer skin. Okay, I didn't know that. All right. Okay.
In Spain, it's very popular. They do these type of things and expose to the public to see.
Yeah, so everyone can see, right? I don't know why they have these bottles. Probably there is some, how we call it, special conservants or something to add to this process, to this meat. something, but I'm not an expert.
It looks
Yeah.
like it might be oil or vinegar, but I'm not sure.
Vinegar, most likely, yeah, or something to kill, you know, all the bacteria inside, because it's very dangerous when you put a raw meat inside, and it can, without like what, without thermo cooking. Or
You
something.
see, in America, we buy our sausages already cut, so we only see little pieces of sausage. We never see a big long thing. We don't buy it like that.
Yeah, and I guess it's hard to see, but I guess I can see red paper, chili paper inside the bottle. So probably to make
Jalapenos.
jalapenos.
Habanero.
Habaneros, yeah.
Chile de árbol, red.
Okay,
pepper.
let's
Yeah,
make
yeah.
the last one. Let's find something, you know, something very special. Do you? I don't know what to choose. Gerard, which one do you like?
A lot of
Final
fire
one.
in this movie.
The final one.
Okay, this one, final.
First Pedro died, and then
Oh.
Tita swallowed the matches, and also burn up her and the ranch and everything, except the cooking book, you know. And the narrator of the movie is Esperanza, I think, the daughter of the Tita's niece.
We have a verb in English, immolate.
Like that.
This means to set yourself on fire. Protesters do this sometimes. So she's immolating herself like a funeral pyre.
I see. Well, I know. I think that now we know more about Mexico than before, right?
Yeah, interesting.
Thank you for this discussion. Thank you for this movie. Maybe for the next time, it's my suggestion. Please write me in the chat. What do you think? We can make some spaghetti western or something. You know, I don't remember. Did we make one actually? Do you remember?
We done good and bad and the ugly. I don't know.
I don't remember, but I would like to have one. You know, just for contrast maybe. Do you know, Josephina, what I'm talking about? Spaghetti western.
What?
Do you know what does mean spaghetti western?
Yeah, I think so. But also, I wanted to tell something. That this book, the movie was based because of the book. In the book, if you buy it, so I think it's in English, you can find a lot of recipes, because that's an idea also of the movie, to offer recipes of very typical Mexican food, very good.
It's a good idea to involve women, to chefs or cooks to have this.
Yeah, nice. I've never heard of that before. That's new. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. See you next week.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.